It's never when he expects it. It's not during war. It's not in the middle of heartbreak. And it's definitely not when he reads some quote on Instagram with a lion and a mountain in the background. The moment a man becomes a Sigma male happens quietly, in an airport, in a driveway, in a half-read text message, in the silence after a phone call that ended too fast or not fast enough. It's not the moment the world hurts him. It's the moment he realizes he doesn't need it anymore. Not its praise, not its permission, not its spotlight. And from that second on, he stops chasing. He doesn't walk away to make a point. He walks away because there's nothing left to chase. This is that story. Because what no one tells you is this: becoming a Sigma male isn't a choice. It's a side effect of being lied to too many times. By the world, by love, by yourself. Oh, and by the way, I've got something very special for you. Sigma's Black Book of Untouchable Power. It's an ebook that contains the forbidden secret knowledge that will turn you into the man others fear and respect. Warning, this will be deleted soon. The elite don't want you to see this. Grab it in the description section or pinned comment below. Let's move on. 1. The betrayal that felt like a bullet, but woke him up. Every Sigma male has a scar. Not the kind that bleeds. The kind that burns under his skin when he remembers the day everything changed. It usually starts with betrayal. From a woman, a friend, a boss. A world that promised one thing and delivered a fistful of lies. You see, a regular man, he believes in the system. He plays the game. He trusts the handshake, the smile, the I love you text at 2 a.m. But then comes the moment. The one betrayal that hits like a freight train. And it doesn't just break him, it rewires him. He stops expecting people to save him. Stops waiting for someone to notice his effort. Stops apologizing for being misunderstood. He realizes something profound. He was never the problem. The cage was. Maybe it was the girl he gave his soul to, who chose a man with less integrity but more followers. Maybe it was the job that promised him a future, only to gut him in a boardroom with a pink slip and a fake smile. Maybe it was his own damn parents, who taught him to obey, to be nice, to be soft, and then ridiculed him when the world spat on him. It doesn't matter who lit the match. What matters is he burned the script. That betrayal, that pain, that collapse, it did something the world didn't expect. It made him unbreakable. While most men spend years licking their wounds, the Sigma turns his pain into a shield. He doesn't chase closure, he becomes it. No more crying to people who only listen to judge. No more explaining his soul to those who only understand surface. He goes dark, quiet, not bitter, just surgical. He observes now. And when he speaks, it's with the weight of a man who's been through the fire and came out with ice in his veins. But here's the wild part. He doesn't hate the people who betrayed him, not anymore, because he thanks them. Not out loud, of course, never out loud, but deep down, in the part of him that used to break. Now there's only gratitude, because without that betrayal, without that agony, he would have stayed a regular man, comfortable, compliant, blind. And the Sigma? He'd rather walk through hell alone than sit in paradise as a puppet. So if you're wondering whether you're on the path, ask yourself, has life betrayed you deeply enough yet? If yes, don't drown in it. Stand up, because that betrayal might have just been your invitation to become who you were always meant to be. 2. The isolation that felt like death, but made him immortal. No one prepares a man for the silence, not the kind you get when your phone stops buzzing, not the kind that comes after a breakup or a job loss, or when your boys stop texting back. This is something else, something colder, something eternal. It's the moment he realizes no one is coming to save him. That's where the Sigma is born. Not in crowds or chaos, but in absence. In that space between who he was told to be and who he really is. And trust me, every Sigma remembers it. The days stretch like glass. The nights feel like slow drowning. He looks in the mirror and doesn't recognize the man staring back. The charm is gone. The mask is cracked. The hope, flickering. At first, he panics. Is this depression? Am I losing it? Did I make a mistake cutting those people off? But no, it's not a breakdown. It's the reboot. See, a regular man fills his silence with noise. Music, podcasts, pointless conversations. Whatever it takes to not be alone with his thoughts. But the Sigma? He goes in. Like a submarine sinking into the trench of his own soul, he dives where most fear to tread. Not for the thrill, for the truth. This isolation is no accident. It's not punishment. It's purification. He starts to hear his own voice. Not the one that's been parroting motivational quotes and social scripts, but the real one, the primal one. And what it says is simple. You don't need them. You never did. So he rebuilds. Not publicly. There are no selfies, no grindset tweets, no Facebook statuses saying, just focusing on me, RN. He disappears, like a ghost with unfinished business. And during that exile, something shifts. He begins to appreciate the quiet. He begins to prefer it. He starts walking slower, speaking less, observing more. Where others scream to be heard, he whispers to himself. Where others need plans, he embraces the unknown. Where others chase validation, he becomes his own compass. And that right there, that's the switch. The moment the silence stopped being terrifying and started becoming his weapon. You see, the world doesn't know what to do with a man who doesn't flinch at loneliness. That kind of man is untouchable, unpredictable, and dangerous in the most elegant way. Because while the crowd seeks attention, the Sigma walks in the opposite direction and still commands it, not by trying, but by being the rarest thing left in a noisy, needy world, a man who is enough alone. But don't confuse this for arrogance. No, the Sigma doesn't hate people. He just doesn't need them to breathe. And the world can't stand that. He becomes an enigma, a walking paradox. He's not bitter, but he's not begging. He's not cold, but he's not clingy. He's not heartless, but he's not handing his heart to anyone unworthy. The isolation tested him, shattered him, stripped him of every illusion he ever wore. And what was left? Steel. Now when he walks into a room, there's no bravado, no performance, just presence. That's what the isolation did. It didn't destroy him, it forged him into a man who doesn't follow, doesn't lead. He just moves, at his own rhythm, by his own law. And in a world that sells identity like fast food, that kind of solitude birthed confidence, it's intoxicating. So if you're sitting there alone questioning your worth, don't numb it, don't run from it, let it break you. Because what rises from that darkness isn't the same man who walked in. He's better, sharper, quieter, wiser. He's Sigma now. 3. The day he realized the crowd was never going anywhere. There's a moment every man has when he looks around and sees the hamster wheel for what it is. The promotions, the filtered smiles, the clout chasing, the endless thirst for likes, shares, and did you see what he's doing now? And suddenly it hits him. They're all running, but none of them are moving. This moment doesn't explode like a bomb. It arrives like a sigh, quiet, tired, heavy. He's in a room full of people, and yet he feels like the last human on earth. Not because he's better, not because he's smarter, but because he finally sees the game and doesn't want to play anymore. Maybe it happened during a company meeting when everyone clapped for a man who hadn't smiled sincerely in 5 years. Maybe it happened during a night out when everyone was posting pictures of fun, but no one was actually having any. Or maybe it was while sitting across from someone at dinner, pretending to care about gossip he didn't ask for, while staring into a pair of eyes that hadn't seen the real him in months. And that's when he knows. The crowd isn't lost. They're addicted to being seen, to fitting in, to belonging, even if it costs them their soul. And suddenly the Sigma, he just can't unsee it. He watches them chase trends like scraps. He hears their laughter echo off empty walls. He sees them shapeshift every day, polished, perfect, performative. And he realizes no one's driving the bus. Everyone's a passenger, No one's asking why they're headed this way, just that they arrive before everyone else. But here's where it gets twisted. He used to be one of them. He wore the right shirts, talked the talk, posted the gym selfies, dropped the clever captions, flirted with the algorithm gods. And for a while, it worked. People noticed, girls smiled, bros fist bumped, but none of it ever filled him. Not really. And now the crowd feels foreign, like a language he once spoke fluently, but now can't stand to hear. That's the day a regular man becomes something else. Not angry, not rebellious, just done. Done playing chess with pawns, done chasing approval from people who don't even know themselves, done living in a reality where being liked is more important than being real. So what does he do? He steps off the grid. Not literally. He doesn't sell all his things and vanish into the woods unless he wants to. He just stops needing them. Their validation, their rules, their applause. And let me tell you, that decision terrifies people. Because deep down, everyone knows the cage is fake. But most are too afraid to walk out because then they'll be alone. The Sigma ? He walks out and closes the door behind him. He doesn't make a speech. He doesn't announce it with a dramatic post. He just vanishes from the radar of the predictable. Now he starts building, in silence, in solitude, on his terms. And while the crowd keeps spinning, burning out, burning up, he's learning, reading, training, creating. He becomes still in a world addicted to motion. And that stillness, it makes noise. People start noticing. Where did he go? He's acting different. Why is he so calm? Because he's free. Free from their timetables. Free from their expectations. Free from being normal. The day he realized the crowd was never going anywhere was the day he decided to go somewhere real. And from that moment on, he stopped walking in circles and started climbing. Upper, alone, unapologetically. So if you're watching this, sitting in your own silence, on the edge of that turning point, don't flinch, don't run back to the noise. Lean in, let it break you, let it burn, let it reshape everything. Because after the moment hits, after the mass shatters, and after the world stops making sense, you won't be like them anymore. And that's the point. That's the price. And that's the power. And if that hits somewhere deep, somewhere quiet, then you're already on the path. Now let's keep walking together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.